and welcome back to Tales from Midnight Diary. My name is Gemma and we're moving! The cat is out of the bag. We are moving to Devon and we couldn't be more excited or stressed. I'll talk loads more about that in sort of the life stuff at the end of the podcast if you're interested in the sort of the chatty, what I've been up to bit. But for now we'll get on with the making. So if you are new here, welcome. I'm going to be a little bit giddy, a bit excited. To finally be able to talk about everything. I have some finished objects for you, probably not as many as I was hoping for after the last one because it's been like a month. I'm so giddy. Let's start again. Hi, my name's Gemma. I'm the dye designer, tutor, maker and purveyor of general nonsense behind the Midnight Diary. So called because I tend to do most of my dyeing at night, although I'm not dyeing anything at all at the moment. And I come here every so often. I'm not even going to bother putting a schedule on it anymore to talk about the things I've been making. It's a glorious, glorious spring day here. It is the 20th of April, so I've just had my birthday, which was lovely. And I'm excited because tonight I'm either going to meet and make at the shop I run. I run a yarn shop as well at the moment. Ooh. Or I'm going to play hooky and go see David Tennant in Good, live streaming from the National Theatre. Oh, very exciting. Anyway, so this is going to be a slightly chaotic episode. Robin is down for a nap. I really want to get on with some knitting, but at the same time, it's the first time in ages I've had any time to get and talk to you all. So I'm going to try and calm myself down. I have coffee in my favourite mug. I have a new top that my mum bought me for my birthday, which is super pretty. I have a sample that I have stolen from work. This isn't a yarn we don't do anymore, so it's fine. It's not a working sample, but I had a chilly bit the other day, so I thought I'd put it on. And coffee in my favourite mug. So let's go. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Business as usual. So last time I spoke to you all, I was getting very excited about a series of new projects. First up, I've got some finishes. The little socks that I was making for my son last time, I finished them back at the beginning of April, so not long after I last spoke to you, and I gave them to him and helped him put them on, and then he very proudly went and showed everyone. It was so cute. He toddled over to my grandma and sort of held up his foot for her to admire, which was just precious. So for as long as he is knit worthy, I am very happy to keep knitting for him. I'll put some pictures in here if I can. He then also tried to put some shoes on, which was quite good. He's a bit fascinated with shoes at the moment. So and then I was excited about a new cast on, but actually before that I'm going to show you something that's finished. You're not going to believe that this is it. Look what, which way around, that way. Look what I finished. These are his little, I'm trying to show you them so they fit on the screen. These are the William leggings from Bo Peep Pure Baby Book. Now I haven't used Bo Peep Pure. It's a yarn by West Yorkshire Spinners, which is pure Falklands Merino. I haven't used that. I've used Bo Peep Luxury Baby DK, which is a merino and nylon blend. It's 48% nylon, 52% merino. Super soft and machine washable. And I never thought I was going to finish it. I've done something weird, look here, I think where they were on the needles for ages, and I picked them up. Picked up the stitches to knit across. I've twisted a couple of stitches or something. But there we are. And I've also had my first go at putting elastic in, which has worked really well. Look, boing. I did finish them. Finished them ages ago, and I got them sewn up. Sat and did the mattress stitch while we were in Devon over the Easter break, house hunting. And I finished them, and I thought I'm just going to put them on him. How much can he need this elastic turns out quite a lot. He put them on and they like slipped straight down just below the level of his nappy. He was wearing like a poppered vest, like a body, and he just held onto them and sort of toddled around, hitching them up, not up here, but by his legs, you know, sort of hitched them up and toddled around with his bottom hanging out. It was so cute. I was like, yeah, you need elastic. So I haven't tried these on since I've put the elastic on him, but I'm pretty sure these will now be fine. So I'll try and get a picture as well. Will I ever knit him leggings again? No, there is so much knitting in legs. And he's a tall little boy anyway. I've had to do the largest size, 2 to 3, and he's only 18 months. Not largest size sort of that way, although they are quite roomy, but largest size in leg length. So I'll try and get some pictures and put them up for you to see. But that's a second finished object. This is really hard for me because, once again, I'm not wearing my glasses. If I put my glasses on, the glare, see, I can now see and I feel much better, but I know this glare going on here will probably wind people watching up, so in the interest of not winding anyone up too much, I'm going to take them off. Next, finished a sock, your starter sock. No progress has really been made on my 52 weeks of socks pair 1, because I need to be able to think for that one. So what I did, having finished Robin's socks, was I cast on a vanilla pair of socks for me. This is following my fuss-free vanilla knitting pattern, which can be found on my PayHip store for free as a free download. It gives 3 sizes and it's a really good basic blueprint for socks. I know it's really good and it works because I've used it to teach socks several times, and we supply my customers at the shop I run with it fairly regularly, and we've not had any complaints, so that's great. This is a Winwick Mum yarn, from which she's done in collaboration with West Yorkshire Spinners, and this one is called Winter Icicle. I figured if I knit the Winter Icicle colourway, then I can pretend I'm being one of those organised knitters who sits knitting chunky jumpers in summer and in winter gets their summer wardrobe ready. Apparently those people do exist, but what do you do? I'm really curious to know. Do you knit for the season you're in, or do you knit for the season you're about to be in, so you're prepared? I know, like, common sense says you should, I hate that word, but you know, you should be doing it that way. But anyway, so I did a fair bit of it doing house viewings in Devon. Did I mention that? We're moving to Devon. And I have it in my sock project bag that I got from Yarndale in 2019 from Snuggly Stars Yarns. It's now looking a bit grubby, but honestly it's really good. You hang it over your wrist, your yarn's in there, and you can just knit and shove it in, and it kept me so much calmer during house viewings. I didn't get as much car knitting done as I'd hoped because I am still suffering a little bit with travel sickness, but I did knit on a jumper, which is somewhere else that I'll have to show you because I've got so many new starts you won't believe. So here you go, sock number 1. I'm just finishing the gusset and then I'll be on the foot. And this one I think is actually going to be a pair for me. We'll see. I mean, I haven't got any socks for me yet, and I would quite like some socks for me for winter. So that's that. Now, the things I was getting very excited about. The Soho Blouse by Kadri. Now, I am loving all of Sabina's patterns. Literally everything she does I want to make, and they're size inclusive and they're well written and very exciting. So I saw the Soho Blouse on the Penrose Knitting Pickle podcast by Penrose Knits, Laura Penrose, and I had to make one. And we've got a window coming up, naturals and neutrals, and I thought, what a brilliant excuse for casting it on and getting a sweater made that will one day be for me. This is how far I've got. So it's really difficult to see because it's bunched up, but basically, oh, hang on. It's still bunched up. That's not going to help either, is it? Oh well. This is the neckline, and I'm working the yoke at the moment. You work it flat, and it will shortly become a V-neck. It's really simple pattern to memorise. The 8-row, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a 4-row repeat for the increases, and I've almost finished the increases. The problem is with this one, I need to do it when I'm alone, because the yarn, I'm using 2 strands of Kid Silk Haze by Rowan held together, and as you can see it's very fluffy. So I don't want to stop in the middle of a row, I don't want to be anywhere where the yarns can get dirty or tangled. So it's my peace and quiet knitting. And yeah, and also with the increasing, each row takes a lot longer than the last one, or each set of rows takes longer than the last one, because you're increasing like 20 stitches every 8 rows. So, no, hang on. Yeah, 18 stitches every 8 rows, that's quite a lot. I absolutely adore it. I love this faux seam detail on the raglan achieved with slip stitches. I love the colour. I just think it's really romantic. It's a bit of romance. Yeah, I'm really excited to have it and wear it. Now, the good news is this was meant to be finished in about a week's time for the naturals and neutrals window that I'm planning to do for the shop that I run. In case you're new here, I run the Yarn Dispensary, which is a I can almost say multi award-winning yarn shop in Faversham in Kent. We have just been announced as the winner of Build magazine in the Homes and Gardens Interiors category, as best local yarn shop for services to sort of helping people make their homes lovely, basically. And Global 100 has just announced us as the reader nominated best local yarn shop in the UK as well. Literally that's just happened in the last week, and in November we were announced as the winner of the Great British Knitting and Crochet Awards best local yarn shop in London and the South East. So again, hugely exciting. And our windows are beautiful. We're blessed with a beautiful listed building with 2 big kind of like bay windows. They're the old-fashioned sort of shop windows. They do protrude. They're just gorgeous, and there's so much scope for creativity in there. So anyway, this was meant to be finished in a couple of weeks. That's obviously not going to happen. Well, it was meant to be finished in a week, sorry. But someone is getting coronated in a few weeks, and so we're actually having a red, white and blue window in the interim. So that buys me a couple of weeks. So I might get it finished. My goal is to get it so that I can have it on a mannequin as a work in progress. So I've got the V joined at the front, most of the body done, and possibly started a sleeve. I want to kind of show the process of knitting. One of the biggest problems we've got is people keep wanting to come in and buy the garments in our windows. And at the moment we've got garments that have been made by friends of the Yarn Dispensary and my friends. So they will become garments that belong to those people eventually when they finish being samples for us. Oh. But there we are. Anyway, I love it. I think I mentioned last time that I now have to have an inhaler. A series of chest infections, viruses, since I caught COVID at the end of November last year, have left me very wheezy, and where I was never susceptible to yarn before, that halo is just gorgeous, where I was never susceptible to yarn before, it now makes me cough a lot to work with it, and I can actually feel it starting to go now while I'm talking to you. So I'm going to tuck it away for now, because I did find my inhaler. It's up here, good. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. The next thing that I got very excited about was the Sibling Sweater by Laura of Penrose Knits, Knitting Pickle podcast. This is going to be like a Cadry and Penrose Knits appreciation podcast today, but oh well. Now, okay, on the face of it, it's a very nice striped jumper. Great. But the thing that got me, and actually the thing that Laura was saying that she, on her podcast, that she loves the most about this pattern, is this. Oh, this shoulder detail is everything. And as soon as it was published, I bought the pattern. and I was so excited to cast on. I grabbed yarn from the shelves in the shop I was in. I said to my boss, can I make this? Yes, great, thank you. And I've gone for Bo Peep Pure. Now this is the more expensive version of the Bo Peep Luxury by West Yorkshire Spinners. This is the Pure Falkland Merino. And my boss Vanessa, the owner of the shop, she threatened to get a bucket of water and throw it over me because as I was knitting with it, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my god, oh, this is lovely. Oh, I got very excited about it. Now, I got so excited that I read the instructions wrong and I picked up the main colour because I thought you'd start with a neckband. You don't. You start working back and forth from the neck down. This is the front, I think. No, it's the back. It's the back. And so I picked up the wrong size needles initially, and turns out the wrong colour yarn, because what I'm actually doing is I've started with this one, which should be the neckline colour. So I thought, do I care enough to undo it? And at the time I decided no, I thought I'd just have a blue collar because I thought that would actually really suit Robin, and reversing the colours would be fine. But I've stopped working on it, I think, because I'm not quite comfortable with it. But also there's something going a bit weird with my increases. If you look here at the back, the way she has you do the increases makes this really beautiful line. It's just, I don't know if it's gonna focus, please. Come on, focus. Come on, you can do it behind my face. Whoa. Come on. It's not going to. It's got this beautiful line here. If you look at this side, Lord only knows what I'm doing, because on the front it looks absolutely fine. Nice row of increases. On the back, what's going on there? You've got this nice row of increases and then I've got no idea. So at the moment it's in timeout because I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and also I'm trying to figure out if I'm okay with the colours being reversed. But yeah, I love working with this yarn. It's slightly dearer, it's over £7 a ball for 50 grams. But the joy I get at feeling it going through my fingers and working the stitches, it is so worth every penny. And Laura is working on a my size sibling sweater. She's also brought out a sibling cardigan, which I'm hoping she'll bring out in an adult version as well. And I know it's going to be this yarn that I use, Pure Merino. Scrumptious. Absolutely lovely. So that's the next thing I've cast on and got excited about. Right, hold fire, one more thing. Okay, I lied, it's going to be 2 more things. So next I taught my top-down sweater course again. And as you've seen in previous podcasts, what happens when I teach my top-down sweater course? I cast on a top-down sweater for my little boy. So here we are. This is the teal version, and it's age 2 to 4 this time. I've been doing the 1 to 2 years up to now, the last 2, but obviously he's going to be 2 in November. So if I want this one to last, I have to do the 2 to 4. Look how big it is. I mean, it's little, but my baby's not very little anymore. He's all grown up. Honestly, he's just coming on leaps and bounds at the moment. His speech is coming on, he's walking. It's not so much of a kind of bow-legged toddle anymore. It's closer to a walk. And he's climbing and playing football. I'm using that term quite loosely, but there is a ball and there is a foot and there is contact. There was purposeful contact, so it's playing football. And yeah, and here we are. So I absolutely love it. I did something really weird when picking up the stitches for the sleeve. And you can see it looks an absolute dog's dinner, but it's on the back and he's going to be 2 to 4. I don't care. I'd rather get it finished. I know if I have to undo it, I'll drop stitches or I won't do it properly and I'll just be miserable with it. So excuse me, I need to cough now. So this again is in the Rowan Superwash Merino worsted. So what you'll find at the moment is I'm using lots and lots of commercial yarn. So I hope that for those of you who aren't necessarily here for the indie dyed stuff, this is actually really interesting and useful to you. I'm restricted in that the yarns I'm using are all from my shop, the shop that I run, but we do have quite a nice range. So yeah, I did the tubular bind off for this, which gives a really nice bottom, and it's stretchy as well. I did the long tail cast on for the neck, and I have, because it's a plain yarn, I've done the garter stitch panel on the sleeve. If you've not seen me show one of these off before, it's a really lovely simple pattern. It is called the Flax Sweater by a company called Tin Can Knits. It's from their Simple collection, which is a teaching collection. So it gives you your first pair of socks, your first pair of mittens, your first sweater, your first cardigan. I really want to do the harvest cardigan. And it goes from 0 to 6 months up to 5XL adult. And it's a free pattern, so you can download it from their website. It's meant to be in worsted or Aran weight yarn, the flax. So I'm doing it in worsted. I did not gauge swatch. It will, oh, I've got hiccups. It will do. It washes up in the machine beautifully. He's got a mustard gold version and a kind of sage green version already. And Nursery have actually washed them both in their machines. And they've come out fine, because obviously I didn't put any sort of care instructions, and you can't in daycare anyway. So they've both been fine. And now he's got this lovely teal colour, and I think for winter I might do him, there's a kind of Merlot burgundy sort of colour. It's called Windsor, I think. It's a really nice, really rich burgundy red. I'm thinking about doing that, although what's probably going to happen is he's going to have a striped version with all the leftovers, because I'm not quite using 2 balls. I just started. I don't think I've even started the second ball. Oh no, I have. I've just started the second ball, I think, for the sleeves. Yeah. So I'm going to have leftovers from each one, so he's probably going to have a striped version, and that's that. Okay, the final new cast on. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm able to talk about this. Penny, if you are watching, I'm sorry it's not finished, but I am making huge progress, and as soon as I finish recording this, I'm going to carry on making progress. And I'm in the middle of a round. And it's a cable round. This is the Artemis hat, which is a test knit for Penny of Penny Baker Knits. She's a friend of mine and a lovely designer. Lovely friend and a designer. She's a lovely designer. Her patterns are lovely. And I have this yarn and my hair, which is pure Romney DK, and it's from the latest single flock that we're working with at the shop. So we work with 3 shepherds now. We have a pure white Marley range, pure white Wensleydale range from Marley Yarns. We have white, well, it's dyed, but it's white and black Wensleydale and alpaca from Longcroft Longwalls, who is our accidental shepherdess. Lambing's just happened. And now we also work with Heart's Delight Farm. All of these farms are based in the immediate local area, and these are pure Romney, and they've had a spin of Romney DK, which we are launching. We took it to East Anglia Yarn Festival and showed that off there and did a soft launch, and we're having a talk, an evening in conversation with Heart's Delight Farm. Now you can attend this virtually. We live stream it around the world, and you then get sent the recordings as well, and I've worked out how to send the recordings. So that's happening. Tickets are available on the website, theyarndispensary.co.uk, and they are going to be talking, Roland and Katrina of Heart's Delight Farm. They've run the farm for 20 years, and they're going to be talking about their conservation farming, because they do farm, but with nature in mind, and they produce honey and juices, and the sheep, who they ended up with by accident. Their eldest daughter was at placement at veterinary school during lambing and came home with bottle-fed lambs that needed looking after, so they found themselves with a mini flock of Romney sheep, and they all have names, and I'll find out their Instagram. Sorry, my phone interrupted me, which was really rude. Anyway, I needed a pattern to work up a sample of the DK in, and Penny needed testers for her Artemis hat, so here we are. It's perfectly plain all the way around, apart from this too. I think it kind of looks a bit like the wings of Artemis, or the goddess who had bows and arrows. Looks a bit like arrowheads. It's lovely. Anyway, either way, It's lovely. I probably should read all the info on the pattern again, and it's almost finished. I'm doing the first size, and you've got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got to do 6 for the first size repeats of the cable, and I'm on starting the 6th now, and then it's the crown decreases. So yeah, I've almost finished that, and I absolutely love the stitch definition, and I think it's going to be even nicer when it blocks. So that is also available from Yarn Dispensary. So that's that. So that's everything I've got to talk to you about today with regards to projects. Obviously the cat is now out the bag that we are moving to Devon. I've known about it for quite a while. It was back in October. So Robin was coming up to a year old, and we'd had a series of difficulties in him giving us like rotavirus, norovirus, and I was finding it difficult as well. I mean, lots of parents do, and I'm very lucky. I have a supportive husband. You know, hats off to everyone rearing children. Whatever your circumstances, you're all amazing. But for us, we were feeling being away from family. My husband has a ridiculous commute. It's up to 2.5, 3 hours each way, depending on traffic, up to the north of London. He didn't set out to have that, but his university he was working for went into administration when I was pregnant, and there was restructuring, and so he had to take another job. So you go where you go, basically, and that commute has slowly been wearing him down, and we don't see him. And Robin goes to nursery 2 afternoons a week, which he adores. He's at a lovely university nursery. But I was feeling frustrated because I feel like I'm not doing anything particularly well. You know, I've been used to sort of being able to dedicate 129% to work, and obviously you can't, juggling everything. And the shop had just won another award. We found out a while before it was announced that we'd won the Great British Knitting and Crochet Awards, and I was sort of thinking about the future and about what would be best for it going forward, because the whole business had grown. We've got an online shop, you know, we ran a Love Local event the week before, which was an accidental yarn. So suddenly I'm the director of an accidental mini yarn festival as well, which is another whole huge thing. And we found ourselves in the car on the way to see family, a long car journey, talking about it. And Jem, little grey girl, and I'd been talking the week before at Love Local, because we both crashed at the flat at the shop rather than going home, because we had to be there for silly o'clock in the morning for the sheep to arrive. Long story anyway, if you know, you know. And I was like, well, we're talking about the future, because obviously, you know, we're 9 months into the war in Ukraine. We're in a cost of living crisis, a fuel crisis. It's attacking everybody. Small businesses, families, big businesses. And I said, oh, I don't know, if things don't work out, we'll probably just move to Devon. It was a bit of a throwaway comment, but then somehow we ended up talking about it, my husband and I, the next week in the car. And, you know, Robin, my husband wants to leave his job because the commute is doing him in, and the end of the academic year would be the summer, and Robin would be moving up to toddler room at the beginning of autumn. And, you know, this year is crucial for the yarn shop to take advantage of everything that we've done and built up so far. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera. I don't actually know where it is now because I can't see it. I don't know where you are. And so, yeah, we came to the conclusion that actually the time was right for us to move on. Also discovered that I've managed to lock us into a really amazing mortgage deal just before Putin completely lost his marbles. And with the interest hikes and inflation, we need to go now, because we'll never get a good mortgage like this again. But if we go now, we can port the mortgage and take it with us. So we talked to our families about it. I don't think the Devon contingent quite believed it was going to happen, but they were very enthusiastic. And then a couple of weeks later, my husband turned around to me and went, "Shall I have my notice in there?" and there was just this little sparkle. And if you've been here since the beginning, you'll know that we've been through quite a lot in the past few years. We've been through something really horrendously traumatic 5 years ago, and it changes you when you go through a big event like that. And we've kind of been treading water ever since. I mean, yes and no. I've built up the community here, we've built up the shop, he's got a good career, built up the diary, but we've not really been sort of living. Does that make sense? Not really been present. And you know, we looked up and the house is full of sort of half started and abandoned decorating jobs, and we've never really moved in because we only moved in like a year before all the stuff started. And we just thought, you know, Robin loves it down in Devon. We've got massive family down in Devon, huge support network. It's great for my husband. He wants to go into conservation and forestry and do his masters, and so location is perfect. And to bring Robin up near woods and the moors and the sea and family, it's just, you can't pass that up, can you? And it was a huge wrench because I love the yarn dispensary and I've put down roots here. I've got friends, you know, Robin's got godparents, and you know, but it's the right decision for the family. And when, as I say, when my husband talked about handing his notice in, he had just had this little sparkle of mischief about him, and it was a little flash of how things used to be, and I've just got to grab that with both hands and go for it. And yeah, so we are. So he handed his notice in. I spoke to Vanessa and burst into tears because of course you do. And then we agreed to not really talk about it publicly for a while because we needed to figure out what would happen with the yarn dispensary and how the restructure would be, and whether we want a manager or levels of management. And I say we just won another big award, and so we had to sort of adjust our business plan for the next year and figure all of that out. And I do respect being like the fact where she was coming from, asking me to not share it too much. Last time there was a change of management at the shop, locals thought we'd shut down, even though I've been there for 6 months. Like, you closed? No, we didn't. Anyway, so I mean, that's the thing. So we've taken our time, got all that sorted. House went on the market. House is actually sold. We were down house hunting in Devon just this last weekend, over Easter. Almost got one, but I'm sure there'll be more house hunting stories later on. I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but I'll let you know when it's happening. I'm going to actually start a series of vlogs, the Devon Diaries, on this channel. I've been recording bits of our trips to Devon, but yeah, it's just great there. It's just lovely. I feel at peace. My husband sort of comes alive again. The dog, who's been diagnosed with anxiety and depression of all things, bless him, he's happier there, and it's better for his well-being. Robin, every time we visit, we've been there for a couple of weeks at a time recently. I was down there for a week when I cracked my rib, and he walked and went from walking to almost running. And when we were down there this time, his language suddenly came on like leaps and bounds, and everyone's just happier there. And so yeah, it's the right thing to do, and that's what we're doing. So yeah, so for that reason, obviously the diary isn't really happening at the moment. I've got a wholesale contract with the yarn dispensary. Advent calendars, I know it's April. I'm not actually going to be launching them until the summer. If you want a payment plan, I suggest doing it the very old-fashioned way and just putting your pennies aside in a pot or something. You know, earmarking them for the advent calendar, because although I was really pleased to offer a payment plan, I've learnt a lot from my first advent calendar, but also I've learnt from other people sharing important consumer information, and I didn't know that if there's any, I should have done, I totally should have done, it's my own fault that I didn't, it wasn't very due diligence-y of me, but that there's like a 180-day window for PayPal to help you. So if you pay through PayPal, you only get consumer support for 180 days. So by starting it before then, and my life is a prime example of things happen that you don't expect. I just got the advent calendars out last year, so I am planning on doing advent calendars, but it does depend on if we've moved and if I've got somewhere to dye the yarn, and I won't know that until the summer, and the summer is within the 180-day window anyway, just about, so we'll talk more about that then. So if you are waiting for those, that's fine, but my plan very much is for the diary to come back. Anyway, I have whittled on about life stuff that you're probably not even very interested in, but yeah, I'm really excited for what the future holds, and we're going to get a different podcasting space. I don't know what that's going to look like, and to start our new lives down there. I'm going to be very sad to leave people behind, very sad to leave the shop behind, but we are recruiting now, so if you live nearish and you want to be the manager, let me know. Or if you know anyone in the Kent area who might want to be the manager, let me know. It's a great job. It's a very stressful job. It's actually going to be, a less stressful job going forward because we're restructuring it all, which is very exciting. Yeah, that's it really. So I hope that you had a lovely Easter. Oh, Easter was great. We had Robin's first Easter egg hunt at his Lolly and Popper's house. We did then set up a little one with his uncle the next day as well. So his uncle got to join in at his nanny and granddad's house. So yeah, that was really cute, and he absolutely loved that. And yeah, his speech has come on. We had lots of adventures. He spent lots of time in the garden. It was really, really lovely. It was just what we needed, a bit of rest and respite and relaxation. Anyway, I've got no idea how much longer he's going to sleep for, and I do want to get a little bit of knitting done while he's napping. So I'm going to say ta-ra for now, and thank you for your patience again in waiting for a video, and I'm looking forward to bringing you more content and more exciting things very, very soon. Take care. Bye.